Welcome back, everybody, to Rob's MetalWorks. We are here at the Rock Box for, yes, an evening I've been anticipating for quite some time. Brings me great pleasure to welcome the fellas from West Virginia are finally here in the Alamo City. I have the man, Brian Hendo Henderson, and Chris O.J. Ojeda of the band Byzantine. Gentlemen, welcome. It is my deep pleasure to have you in our town.
Well, we are greatly appreciated. Let's start over. We love San Antonio.
Hendo, great to see you, man.
Yeah, man, you too, buddy. This, you got a beautiful city here, man. We're happy to be here, dude. Yeah.
You guys look great. You're in good spirits.
Thank you.
That's what I like to capture on camera. And you know, when I think about Byzantine, there's a lot of people still who I feel are learning about the band. Obviously, you guys have had a long career already. What was the inspiration to bring Byzantine back? Because it seems now you're more focused and there seems to be a lot more vigor with the band now.
I wasn't happy not playing music. You know, when we broke the band up in 2007 or 2008, we were in a bad financial and emotional and mental state. But we finished out our contract to Prosthetic, and we thought that was over with. But it took me about 5 years of soul searching to realize that, you know, I felt a little incomplete without Byzantine in my life. So, you know, I decided to give it another go, and we've had to switch out some members, and we've put some really good other West Virginia guys in here. And right now, I think the band's firing on all cylinders. Yeah. And now we've got the best label in the world behind us, so we can't be any happier.
And I think one of the best records of 2017.
Thank you.
Metal records of 2017. You guys will definitely be in our top 5 of the year. If someone came up to you and said, "What are you guys delivering musically?" What would you say?
A diverse palette of metal, I guess. You know, as we've aged, I can say this for OJ and all of us. We're not trying to beat people over the head with just blast beats every time, you know, all the time. We've mellowed out a little bit. We want to sneak melody in there and some ebb and flow and some peaks and valleys. And I think, you know, bands like Mastodon have done it the same way, even Gojira. You know, these guys, when they mature, they write more mature songs, and I think that's just a natural thing. So it's happened here with us too. So that's why we're doing it, man.
I love all the melody, the subtle technicality. And I say that, I use the word subtle because sometimes technical bands can become too technical and it becomes a musician's band, not necessarily a fan's band.
Right.
So I really love that. And I have a question for you, Chris. Prior to 2013, were the other members also singing in the band like Hendo does, or no?
We had our bass player, Skip Cromer, who was on the 3rd and 4th album. He done backup vocals live. They really didn't do a lot of stuff in studio. But Brian's voice complements mine so much better, and he's such a pure singer that we realized we had to have him on the album. And it helped me deliver better vocal performances on this album as well, to have him in the studio as well as Jay, our engineer. So I think it's added another ripple. But even if you go back to our first album, we always had subtle nuances of trying to do progressive stuff, and we've been able to add and add throughout our whole career. That way, it doesn't seem like a big jarring, you know, right-hand turn, you know. And that's like Brian was talking about, those bands like Gojira and Opeth. They've been able to slowly add through a long history. And that's how you build a lengthy discography.
And Brian, though, he's not just doing backups, though. He's actually doing kind of some leads. Like, singing, yeah. So.
I think on this one, he at least does like 3 choruses. And then I'd say most of the backup vocals, like I would go in and lay the scratch, and then Brian would go in and just nail it. So it added for a more organic vibe. And, you know, I could have went in there and probably done it, but it wouldn't have had that extra oomph to it.
Plus, it gave him more time to drink beer in the studio while I did vocals. He got to sit and watch me, and I you know, give him some relief, so it worked out. Yeah.
And actually, like moving in stereo, the chorus cover we did, that was Brian's whole idea, and I didn't do a damn thing. I just got to watch. It was fun.
Talk about it. Every single noise in the background in this interview that could happen is happening.
Yeah.
Justinian code, yeah, that's a killer example of what you're doing.
Yeah, man, that was kind of my first getting my feet wet with this band, taking a lead thing. And once we got in the studio for the new record, I think OJ was like, all right, man, I'm going to give you some free reign to do your thing. And I think it worked out, man. And plus, I told him I was going to quit if he didn't let me sing. So there it is.
There it is. The truth is revealed. Let's talk now about the cicada tree, the chichara tree. I love this record, man. I love it.
Chichada, right?
The chichara tree.
Yeah. Yeah.
Roll those R's.
Chichada.
There you go. There you go. Obviously, a great release. The best work I feel that you guys have done in your long career. In your eyes, what separates this one? Because it seems to be a little bit more accessible, a little bit more professionally done. What separates this one from the others?
Yeah, our engineer and producer, Jay Hannon, I think this is his finest effort. We've been working with him since the fourth album.
Is he from Virginia, West Virginia?
He's actually a New York boy, but he lives in Myrtle Beach, and that's where his studio's at. And we've been working with him since the self-titled, which is the fourth album. But this album, we actually were able to demo music and give it to him, and he literally went in and chopped things and told us, you add another chorus here, you change a key here. So he helped big time. Yeah, he's definitely the fifth member, and he's a great musician as well, so we trust him. That and just being comfortable in the songwriting skin, because there for a few albums we were chasing some other people's tails, and at this point it's just basically write music that we're happy with, and we think that if we're going to be excited about it, then our fans are going to be excited about it. And that gives us a lot of free reign to just experiment.
Right.
Yeah.
So many killer tracks on this record. Obviously, the title track is one of my favorites. And also Verses of Violence. Let's talk about that song for a little bit, because God, I listened to that song. It's like a 9-minute opus of Byzantine, and you kind of get every single element of the band that you love about Byzantine in there. Right. Well, there's like the melodic guitars, the solos, the heavy, almost kind of black metal kind of riffs going on in there.
That song, it kind of summarizes the band at this point, because a lot of it is Brian's guitar work, like stuff that he wrote. The end part is Sean Sidner, our bass player. He wrote the acoustic outro. So, and then I kind of tied everything together and put the black metal thing. So it's basically a very good condensation point of what this band is. And we are starting to really enjoy writing the longer songs,
right,
crossing that hallowed 8-minute ground. So to be able to write a song that's 9 or 10 minutes and make it feel like it's 4 minutes, that's a feat, and we're having fun doing that.
I don't get tired of listening to that track, and it doesn't feel like it's a 9-minute song when I hear it. Great song. Also, the title track, the Cicada Tree, is also a very nice, subtle, heavy, brutal song. Why did you guys choose that one for the title track?
I want OJ take that one.
Okay.
That's all OJ.
Okay.
I remember we were done writing, I thought, and Jay said, no, you need to write a couple more songs. And I kind of put that song out there, and I thought it had too much of like a progressive, softer, happy feel to it. But once we started listening to it, we realized that the album needed that uplifting portion. Because it is a really dark album. Even though it's not heavy in all the spots, it's dark. That is the light with all the dark, and I thought that was a really good idea to make that the title track, and it really means something to me, because the Cicadas, it was a big defining moment in my life with my kids and stuff, and it summarized the 17 years of the band.
Right.
So it was meant to be, and we put it out there, and people are really gravitating towards it. That and Verses of Violence, I'm really happy that song's getting a lot of street heat right now, because it is the one that's really showing like the lineup at this moment.
Right. You alluded to some of the dark elements in this record. You talk about relationships. You talk about religion. Lots of things that people go through in their lives. If there was like an overall theme for this record lyrically, what would you say that is?
There isn't any. I can't make one up. It's just like a series of 5 or 6 different topics I like to talk about, and we have a ghostwriter that helps me write some lyrics. My buddy Jamie Rakes, he's been writing with us since the third album, So he brings in some stuff, and there's really no theme other than the cicada tree and the artwork. That right there is the only thematic issue that we got going on. Everything else is just like, hey, let's write about fucking aliens, and let's do this song about, relationships and see what happens.
I'm glad you mentioned the alien, because the Subjugated is a cool song, and that kind of has an alien theme to it. Correct me if I'm wrong. There's always been an alien themed song in every record. Is that true?
The third album, Oblivion Beckons, I skipped one. But we've had 5 alien themed songs, and they're all in a line.
Is that because you believe that we're not alone?
Oh hell yeah! I hope we're not alone, because if we're alone, that's even scarier.
And we have to talk about the cover track, the Cars cover. Brian, talk a little bit about that track. I always like when metal bands cover non-metal songs.
Right, and I think that's the way to go. Metal bands doing metal songs, I don't think does you any kind of service. I love 80s pop and rock, and I know OJ does too, so when we were coming up with these ideas for cover songs, we were like, all right, everybody pick 2 songs, bring them to the table, and we'll let the fans vote on it. And I think that was one of the highest voting getting songs. So OJ just let me have at it, man, and it turned out really good as far as I'm concerned. I like it. I love the Cars, man. They're awesome.
Yeah,
so.
Moving in Stereo is the track, people out there, so be sure to look for it. And for some of you people out there who do not yet have the latest from the band, it's out on Metal Blade Records, the Cicada Tree. Be sure to go look for it online and download it on iTunes. As soon as you watch this interview, definitely a great record in 2017. And guys, as we kind of get near the end of this interview, let's talk a little bit about you guys have been on this run with Sacred Reich. It's tonight is your last night, I heard.
It is, man.
How's this run been for the band?
The shows have been great. Getting to the shows has been trying. We've had vans explode, almost got shot at the border crossing. Too many stories to get across in this short amount of time, but we're here. It's our last night. I think we all kind of see the light at the end of the tunnel. We get to go home to our families tomorrow.
Nice.
But so we're going to go out and we're going to blow it out tonight, so it should be fun.
Nice.
Yeah.
And Chris, you almost told me tonight that you said, I don't know if I'm going to sing tonight because you've been working hard on your throat's been working hard. Are you going to sing a little bit tonight, you think?
Well, last night I wasn't going to sing at all because I felt like dog shit, and then we got halfway through it, and then the spirit hit me. So then I just started whooping and hollering. I don't know what it sounded like, but who knows? We might rip some songs instrumental and some not, and I can guarantee you this. We will be playing guitar.
All right.
Yeah.
I know you guys know how to do that.
Yeah.
Now, one thing I was remiss not to also talk about is that this is your first release on Metal Blade Records. How did the deal go down with Metal Blade? How did that happen?
We played a show, what was it, Brian, like 2.5 years ago in New York City, in Queens. It was a off-market, no one was going to be there. We were headlining, and we were kind of depressed because it was a half-empty venue, like it always has been for us. But just so happens, Jose Mangan, Rob Caggiano from Volbeat,
Yep.
Chris Santos, who's a world-renowned chef, who's on Chopped, and Brian Schlegel showed up to the show.
Wow.
And Jose drug him out there, and Brian stayed in New York City one day to check us out, and they came to the show. I think they were wowed, so we got his card. We talked for about 6 months. And we were going to sign to Chris Santos's label. He has a new label called Blacklight Media.
Mm-hmm.
But then he called us and said, man, I'm so busy with my restaurants, I can't take you on. But he said, it's going to work out because Schlegel wants to put you on Metal Blade. So we were like, okay, let's do it.
Wow.
So, Brian signed us to a really good deal. We worked out a lot of things in our favor. And he just said, based on the strength of your last 2 independent releases, just give me another one of those. I don't even need demos. Just give me a Byzantine album, and we'll do what you need to do.
Right.
So and now we're here. This is our first tour in support of it. And like Brian said, we're going to go home through the winter, and then we're going to come back out in the spring and possibly do another fall run next year.
Great.
So we're going to keep pumping it. They're going to give us time to grow with this album,
right,
because we are domesticated, dads
right,
and stuff.
Right.
So Schlegel and everybody was like, look, let's take some
Take our
time.
time.
Let's
Yeah.
take some time. You
You're
guys,
right.
you guys got some gas left in the tank.
Oh,
so
this record deserves all the time and the support that you guys can give it. And as we talked about, Metal Blade, just really quick, I noticed that you guys did a video for the Justinian Code, which was on the last record. That was not a Metal Blade record. So did they kind of get how did that happen that they released the video for it under the Metal Blade label?
we have the rights to that. We kept all sole rights to it. They just said they were going to put it on their platform to help us out. So,
Nice.
yeah, they love the album, and they said, if you're going to spend your own money doing the videos, the least we can do is put our name and get more people to see it. And it's got a shitload of views in the last year. So now it seems like it's one of those songs that people are like, if you don't know Byzantine, listen to Justinian Code, and you get everything they do in 8 minutes. So.
That's super cool for them to do that and support that other release.
They've been the nicest group of human beings I've ever worked with in the music industry. I can't say enough about the Metal Blade.
Wow. Good people, good people. We need them in our world. And guys, as we end out, I also want to talk about the videos. You guys did kind of 2 real videos, and then there's a lyric video. You did the video for Bear to Witness, that one, and then Vile Maximus also got a talk a little bit about the video experience. Did you like doing the videos? Because you do some. The Vile Maximus was more like a performance.
Right.
The other one was Chris doing some acting and performing. Yeah. So talk a little bit about that.
Well, the Vile Maxim video shoot, we were kind of trying to channel Metallica 1, that kind of dirty, dingy warehouse vibe.
Yeah.
With New Ways, with New Ways, we shot it in Huntington, West Virginia, kind of our home turf where we play. What's our home venue?
The fattest city in America.
Yeah, but no, it was cool because at that shoot, it was an open bar. We had kegs of beer. Everybody was, kicking some back, and it was a lot of fun. I mean, it was a great day. I had a good time. I was hungover when I got home, man.
Nice.
And we got to bring our old drummer Matt Wolf back into the video. Like he was our original drummer on 5 albums,
Right.
on all 5.
Right, we've heard a lot about
Matt had to leave before this album, so we thought it would bring some closure to have him come back and hit me with the truck. And that's
that's him in the truck?
That's our old drummer.
Okay, and I have to ask, there's the UFO.
No, they said it was lens flare. Unfortunately.
Oh, I was like, there's a UFO in the video.
It's a lens flare.
I should have said it's a UFO.
It's a UFO, people.
It's a subtlety in the
We're not
video.
gonna say it's aliens, but it's aliens.
I seriously thought, I said, look, they're trying to sneak in a UFO in the video.
They're watching this, man.
Oh, God, of course. Guys, it's been my distinct pleasure to have you on our show. Thank you so much for a great interview. Any last words, anything you want to share with the people around the world who will see this interview?
Man, keep checking us out, man. Give us your support. We're going to be back out there next year hitting it hard, probably across the ocean waters to Europe. So, come check us out, man. Yeah, it's going to be fun. We're just getting ready to get on this ride. Hopefully it's going to keep going up and up and up and getting faster and faster. So.
What about you, Chris? Any last words?
Well, I know a lot of people tend to not give a band that has a big discography a chance. Like, if they find out about a band, they've already got a bunch of albums, they skip it because they're not on the radar. But give us a chance. This is our first album on Metal Blade. It's our 6th album, but it's fresh, and I think there's a lot in there for about everybody.
Yeah.
I mean, we try to keep it unique and still be a groove metal band, but we also like to put the progressive tendencies in there. So, check it out. If you like it, come to a show. If you don't,
Jamming at home.
Yeah.
You guys.
jamming at home.
You guys are great musicians, man. I really, really admire smart guys, and you guys are some sharp dudes behind your instruments. Thank you so much for everything again. Remember, everyone out there, the band is called Byzantine out of West Virginia. Be sure to check them out. You saw them only right here on Rob's MetalWorks.